Alright, boys. Little detective talk of the day here. You know, when you're out in the wild, you don't know what you're going to run up on. And you don't know what's under your coal. Meaning, you don't know what's buried till you dig it. Sometimes you don't even know, even then, exactly what was down there. You know, 100%. There's a nickel down there. You see that nickel sticking out there? And that nail's up above it there. Now this machine's not hitting that old nail. Now all machines can hit some iron, you know, in the wild. It just depends. But watch what happens with this machine right here. Mono program, 13 kilohertz. Could you find that nickel right there in the wild sweeping above it, say 5 inches? You hear that? Now right out there, you hear a little, not too good though, but you see what I'm doing there? All around that old nickel, 13 kilohertz. Could I take a F75 with a 7x11 coil? Now it's narrower than this coil. This is a 9-inch coil. Could I get a tone on that nickel with that detector? Well, I tried to call the old up the road that I sold mine to borrow it, okay? I've got a pretty good hunch it will not give a signal on that nickel. Okay, now, the silencer is 0 on this machine, by the way. You hear that? Okay, now watch what happens here now. We're gonna, and I'm at 6.4 disc, okay? The default is 6.1. Here's 17 kilohertz. You see it in the window there. There's no tricks in this video. "17 kilohertz is not a player there really either. Okay, 25 kilohertz. Uh-oh, listen to that. We got some signal now, don't we? You hear that? Look at there. That's mono program. I'll go up one more. Here's 32 kilohertz. Coal high too. I got that coal up in the air, boys. What's he got for ID in that window? See, hear how smooth that signal is? Hear that? Hear how smooth that is? That's not one of them blotchy sounding, which, you know, this machine can do sometimes on iron, okay? Hear how smooth that is when that coil goes by there, singing to you. Now, let's just slip over here. I've got this fast program silencer at 2 3-tones. Listen to that. You hear that? You hear that? You hear how fast I can sweep that. Look at that. Okay, let's go back here to this old mono program. Okay. Now this machine right here in 17 kilohertz will walk with a dog and iron on the F75. Now I'm not picking on the F75. I'm just telling you all the deal. That's pretty close. I can even shift it up. 17.6. That's very close to the original Deus 1. Alright? And even it struggles on this right here. How about that? A little broken signal right in there. But any kind of call sweep. See what I'm doing with that call? See what I'm doing with that call? What do you hear? Now I'm at 6.4 disc. You can run this machine to 6.4 disc, 25 kilohertz in a high iron side. Here's 25 kilohertz. That's a fast sweep. 3 tones. You hear that? So you'd be on top of that right there with an F75 with a stock coal, and you wouldn't be none the wiser, okay? You'd get an iron signal maybe, or nothing at all. And that ain't the only machine that would happen. It happens with this machine at equivalent frequency. This machine at 13 kilohertz probably is as good or better than the F75 because I've got a silencer setting. That's 13 kilohertz. Look at that. I'll shift it up. Let's see where we go. 13.8 kilohertz. Right out there, a little twang right in there, but that's a thin, real thin. But that's a silencer of 0, okay? If I go in here and change this silencer, you see that silencer in the window there? If I change this silencer to 2, watch what happens. And I'll even let the disc down the default, 6.1. Look at that, 13.8 kilohertz. You be going through a field, you'd be none the wiser if that old nickel's down there. But this old fast program, look at that. That's elementary for this machine right there. You see that? It's even elementary for it too in the mono program with higher frequency. I'll dial the disc back to 6.4. They got a fast 40 on this machine. Here's 40.4 kilohertz. You hear that? You hear how smooth that is? That's a no-brainer in a dig all non-ferrous scenario in an O side, okay? There's that old nickel, modern nickel, okay? That could be an old V nickel bowl. Could be a relic. So there you go. Give you a little preview of what can happen to you in the wild with a single frequency detector running down there around 13, 14 kilohertz. Hope you enjoyed.